want to talk about now is what has become a big crisis on ground zero, and this is the issue of kidnapping for ransom and rampant theft at gunpoint. And a lot of people, I thank them, have turned to the town hall and brought it to the attention of the town hall. And so the town hall, in collaboration with our boys on the ground, who have also been doing a phenomenal work trying to stamp out this issue of kidnapping, are putting together a plan, or have put together a plan which we want to share with Southern Cameroonians. It has become a syndicate operated both on ground zero and by Southern Cameroonians in the diaspora, whereby criminals are picking up people in ground zero and calling their relatives in the diaspora for ransom. This ransom is no longer being collected on ground zero, but when the boys on ground zero pick up your relative, they call you in the diaspora and they put you in touch with the so-called local government chairman or the so-called county heads. And depending on where you are in the diaspora, the county head tells you who to make your payments to. And then when you make that payment in the diaspora, then and only then do they now give orders to their boys on the ground to release the hostage. It has become so brazen that they are in the diaspora and they do take money from the diaspora, and they tell you how to send the money to them without fear of footprints of financial transactions and the release of their people. That has been brought to the attention of the town hall, and we've talked about it with some of the boys on the ground. When the boys on the ground go to intervene, the hostage takers or the kidnappers tell them, oh, we didn't collect ransom. Technically, they didn't collect money, but their bosses in the diaspora collected the money. So we have some of our boys on ground zero who have joined us to talk about this, and we would talk about it together. Ground zero, are you there?
Yeah, Una, good evening, everybody, and we thank Una so much for connecting us and then for us bringing these topics again on live to try to see how we can correct what is going wrong here in ground zero. Actually, it is something that we are really bent on to see how we can find a solution and to have a permanent solution towards all the unrest that are being caused by some manipulated fellows among us and some corporates across the borders. I think I will have something to say, but before now, I think Fear Not Ambazonia and the Liberator that are around, I want them first of all to breathe, and then I'll be coming at a conclusive end. Okay, since they have network issues, I should just be going ahead. I want to greet everybody again and to say respect to you all. We right back here in ground zero, we have lots of regards to our local population, our parents and our brothers who have been suffering with us. And we are doing all our best to see that they are comfortable within the period of war. But the issue you see, you are raising like that, the issue of kidnapping and harass is really giving us headache right back here in ground zero. And it has become a syndicate, and we can identify groups that are really carrying out this activity in collaboration with their brothers in the diaspora. And that is not a good view for us. And this social media is a very big outfit that will not be able to expose all. But we want everybody to know that it has become a policy within some fractions that they pick people here and then you pay the monies across there. And those monies, we don't even see their impact here in ground zero, because we know for the past months how ground zero have been mobilizing itself to see how we can realize corporate attack and other multi-joint task force missions, which details will be given in our subsequent broadcast back here in ground zero. Obviously, the people in ground zero hate the stop of kidnapping because it has never happened before this crisis. It has just only evolved within this process of this crisis. And we blame certain names that are in the diaspora who had helped either directly or indirectly to cause this unrest to happen in ground zero. For example, when you say they should arrest everybody who is selling brazaris, and you doesn't put a fine tag of if they arrest this person who is selling brazaris, he has a fine tag of 50,000 or he has a fine tag of 500,000. Somebody may be arrested for selling brazaris and you ended up being paid 1 million, and some person is being arrested and end up being paid 15,000 francs. And before the boys' eyes were opened towards this direction, some big brothers in the diaspora had come publicly in media announcing, and all these things is causing us lots and lots of problems, which you are hearing all these arrests and kidnappings, as you can call here in Ground Zero. Sometimes it's being triggered by the social media outfits which are found there in the diaspora. But we've been doing all our best to try to see how we could put things to order. When this is done, we contact whoever, and we are really trying to develop a means, a technological means, where we can track whoever is really doing it, and then to really get them in time and get whoever is their captive liberated. That's the effort we are putting on ground. For now, we just, if we discover it, we will call the nearest camps around, and they will go there and then chat and then liberate whoever is under captivity. But each time when they are coming there to liberate whoever is under captivity, you will see this question coming up. He sells brazaris. He does this. He does this. Those are the root cause. I'm just about pointing it that those are the root cause of the many kidnapping and arrests you are hearing here in Ground Zero, which is also a source from the social media in the diaspora, and in which they are doing that, and now monies are being paid to the same persons in the diaspora, which we don't see the impact here in the Ground Zero. So we are doing our best to condemn the act, and we are not part of it. The entire body of AMF is not part of it. Ground Zero is rejecting it. Several leaders are rejecting it. And another phase about it again is those normal cartier thieves, those normal cartier thieves. We've gotten series of audios in the past threatening our people of taking them, kidnapping them, or if they don't pay ransom, they come and do 1 or 2 things to them, which is not what we want. And we've carried out serious investigation and discovered that most at times there are criminals in the quarter doing those kind of things, not even forces which we know they are fighting. In the days ahead, the tax is very, very big for us here in Ground Zero, because we are trying to caution damages and yet we are fighting like the public at the same time. Is quite much. So we really make sure that we're going to stop kidnapping here on Ground Zero by all costs. So all the generals are putting their signatures on a document approving that there shouldn't be kidnapping here in Ground Zero. So in the days ahead, those things will be arrested. So you have a number there in your screen that you can call every time you have that case around. You just call that number and we'll do our best to contact whoever is around. The numbers there, you can see them. They are right now there in the screen. You have +23 +237 670 02 1867 and +237 670 02 18. Okay, 67 is the same number. Those are the numbers you can use in contacting us, and then you have the email below, amforce13@gmail.com. You can see right there in the screen. You can use that to contact us. Just make us to be aware. We'll do our best to see how we'll release whoever is under captive anywhere in the land, starting from Nkambe to Manu to Fako to Santa, wherever you have that kind of case, just report through those numbers and those email. We'll do our best to get those people released. And if they are not our people who have carried the act, we'll be able to know, because sometimes too, La Republic armies, they are thieves. La Republic armies are thieves, as I'm telling you people. They too, they do that kidnapping and they do ransom taking on the behalf of forces on ground. Meanwhile, they are not forces. And sometimes they do it deliberately to test you if you'll be able to comply. And when you comply, you just discover that you are working in collaboration with the boys. But this is why AMF is putting also an allied force on ground, which is a multi-million project. We just pray that we'll be able to go through it. We are putting an allied force on ground that its duty will be to fight all these ills here in Ground Zero. So in the days ahead, as the allied forces are training, we believe we're going to bring everything under control, and the people of Ambazonia will become happy again. Thank you.
Thank you, Presido.
So let me just add a few more points. I want to thank Presido very, very much for all the marvelous jobs that they have been doing. And also, I want to remind our audience of what is actually going on the ground and what AMF is been doing, and remind us of what AMF is all about. So, which is an ideology, and it's a coalition of different defense groups from all over Ambazonia coming together to agree on certain modum operandis on ground zero. So it's not about, assimilation or owning any fighter. So what this means is when someone gets kidnapped in a village, somewhere in Dian, for example, and you have fighters that have adopted the AMF ideology under that same platform, it's easy to reach those people in Dian and figure out who carried out that operation. And if the person is an Ambazonian fighter or is just a thief, and it's easy to get a group that can go in there and rescue that person. A lot of times, some people get back to the fighters or to AMF after they've already paid ransom. It's very, very imperative that if you get a call, you should call immediately so that the person can be rescued before even paying the ransom, be it the call coming from the diaspora or from ground zero. Please, that is very, very important. And also, I want to encourage everybody that although we have been contributing so far, but let's make it a habit that we try and contribute and give these guys what they need to fight the war and to also fight internal threats. Thank you very much. There are a lot more things that will come up in the days ahead that I'm sure they don't want to release it yet to the public. But I want to really thank and commend Town Hall for everything that they have been doing, both materially and morally, and all the advice that they also give. Thank everyone.
Thank you very much, Panther. Some of the things which we want people to take, because if you have not been hit by this kidnapping, I can guarantee you, look at your watch now and start a countdown. Sooner or later, your family is going to suffer this kidnapping nonsense, and so we have to combat it. We have put together this information we are sharing on the screen, that if you get a call from anyone claiming to be an Amber Boy kidnapping, do not send them any money. I know there is the pressure, I think Tiger is coming in, there's the pressure of your loved one, your parent, your sister, your uncle, your grandmother, your niece or somebody. Provide us, when you call the numbers, get the phone number that called you. Even if it is your relative's number, still make sure that you get the number from which they called you, and let us document that number. The date and time the call was made. You want that information. You want to know where your person was picked up, because if we can know where they were picked up, it is easier now to start tracing where they've been taken. When people are picked up, they are blindfolded, so usually they don't know where they're going. But when they get to where they're going, if there's a way they can communicate, or if you get that information, it's important. You want to get the name of the person who called you. Even if they gave you a fictitious name, a fake name, take that name and take the phone number. If you can, it is very important, we need the evidence. Record the call. If your person is kidnapped and they call you and you don't know that they're calling about it, you can pretend to drop that call. When they call you again, please record that call and keep that audio. We need that evidence. If they ask you to send money, which is what they would likely do, even if it's in Cameroon, even if it's Momo or whatever you're using, World Remit, keep that transaction evidence. the account to which you wired the money to, the SMS to which you, the SIM card, wherever the money went. Keep that. And then also send in your name and your number, and this information will be kept confidential. Let me put up this number again so that people know when they get this information where to share it. Now, those people who have reached out to the AMF and to the town hall with these complaints, we thank you, and we want to thank the AMF for those they have succeeded in releasing people's cars that were snatched. They have succeeded in getting some of the cars back, and as the AMF have told us, people pay ransom and then come and complain after the fact. It is too late once that money has changed hands. There is a syndicate in the diaspora. People have called the town hall. We have the town hall has created a number in the United States, 202-505-2061. It is WhatsApp. If your person is kidnapped or somebody calls you from the diaspora and they say they are a local government chairman or they are a county chair or they are head of defense and your person has not been paying taxes or draft as we have now got it, call that number, WhatsApp, provide the information. If you want to use the email, that is ground0, G0 hotline at gmail.com, or you use the AMF email, or you call the AMF number if you're in ground zero, or the US number if you are in the diaspora. You have the numbers in ground zero, you have the number in the diaspora, you have an email in ground zero, and you have an email in the diaspora. We are going to gather this evidence, and the town hall has made contact with authorities in the US. We've gotten some voicemails already, people who were kidnapped, and they were told that they have not been paid, or their family or whoever has not paid draft money. And they have made payments through financial services, and we've gotten the transaction evidence. We want to gather as much evidence, as much phone calls, as much of the kidnapping as we can to build a case to take to the authorities. We are not going to stain this struggle by thieves who sit in the diaspora, some in Europe, and are using a 237. So they are using WhatsApp numbers. They are in Europe, and when they call, you think that they are in ground zero. They are in Europe using ground zero numbers to call the families of people they have kidnapped or their gangs have kidnapped, and they are collecting money in the diaspora. Those people who have had the courage to step up, we thank them. Those people who are afraid because they have been threatened that their family will be harmed, or their homes will be burnt, or their people will be killed, contact us and we are going to keep your information private. If we do not get over the fear and confront these people head on, this kidnapping will not stop. The AMF guys are going to great lengths to confront these guys who themselves are armed to release victims of kidnapping. Those people in the diaspora who are perpetrating this kidnapping, we are sending a clear message to you. We have your information, we have proof of the transactions, we have the times you call, we have recorded calls, and we are going to prosecute this without fear or favor. And we are going to continue this investigation. So I want to share the information you must have when you get a call, if you get a call on this kidnapping. We'll go over it one more time, and then we're going to hear from the boys on the ground again before we round this up. We want to remind our people, if you get a call, you want to get the phone number that's calling you, you want to get the date and time, you want to get the location where your person was picked up. If you know where they've been taken to, that would help. You want to get the name of the person calling you, even if it's a fake name. You want to get the name of their commander or general, whoever is leading their group. Even if the phone number they're calling is the phone number of your relative, take that phone number. If they ask you for money and you send the money, you want to keep that transaction notification that confirms that you sent money either to that account, to that person, or to that SIM card. And you want to call either ground zero, or if you're in the diaspora, you call the diaspora. It's WhatsApp. You leave the information. If somebody doesn't get back to you, somebody will get back to you. And we are going to add this to our stack of evidence, which we will submit to the authorities. We are going to end this kidnapping, at least by those in the diaspora, whether they are in Europe, in America, or sitting somewhere in Asia, thinking that they are safe. Tiger, are you there?
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, I'm there. Good evening, everybody.
Okay, good evening.
Yeah, concerning this case of kidnapping on ground zero is rampant because all the time we get calls from people saying that my child has been kidnapped, this has been taken, my car has been taken, all the like, and we always try our best to rescue some of this when it's within our reach. So we have always been trying to work with collaboration with all the generals on ground that we can get to, and there are some that before they tell you it's already off. You cannot say anything, you cannot do anything either, or you can only have the screenshot of the message that confirms the transaction. So we are on alert because most of the people on ground, especially in Bamenda, they always get to us as fast as possible when it has happening, or when they call them on phones and they are asking for such. But we come to notice that they are unknown people. They don't even they don't even give their names, because I've called severally and they don't refuse giving their names, and they have even registered my number, and when I call they refuse to pick the call. So at times it's look difficult for us to trace these guys. So that is our main issues. But if we say we should submit those names and phone numbers and even recorded calls, then it's good. We will try to always submit them on the contacts provided. Thanks very much. This Tiger 2 once more.
Tiger 2, thank you. Thank you very much for that. Yes, any number they send, we just want to get the evidence. Most importantly, record those calls and keep those transactions. If you happen to reach AMF after you've paid money because you didn't get the number or you were afraid of something happened, please keep that transaction evidence. They are capable of tracing the money, tracking the money, following the trail. We want to know. People in ground zero now, from what I have learned, are using dead people's IDs to go make SIM cards and register. It doesn't matter. Even if they went and used a dead person's ID, get that number and get that transaction, that evidence. Let us build the case. So I see AMF posted a different number, a different Cash App number in the chat. The one that was up on the screen has changed. It's 774381. Secretariat, you think you can put that up? The reason we are putting that up is anybody who wants to support them. This support for our struggle has to be voluntary. You cannot kidnap people, put a gun to their head, and then force them that they haven't paid a draft or whatever you call it, and send them to a so-called local government chairman or defense head and force them to pay money in the diaspora and have the gall to call their relatives here and intimidate them and collect money from. Yes, Jojo, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I was just wondering that because these people, they'll be becoming very, very smart. What if immediately they carry out the transaction, they change their number and their email and anything that you can get in touch with them? Is there a way to go around that?
When we would let the investigators do their job. I believe that in at least here in the US, once a transaction has been made, those companies that do the transaction, PayPal or Zelle or whatever, they know who they send the money to. And I think the US government, usually the only way you would get your money out of PayPal or Zelle or something, you have to send it to an account or to a card or something. So we will let the investigators do their job. They've just asked us to gather the evidence, and that's what we can do.
I'm more like to Arthur's point. The important thing is just to get the information. And more specifically to the question that you asked, I think even if we had some ideas towards that, it will not make sense for us to share it here. Just gather the information, and then the investigators will know what to do with it.
And what I also want to share here, since we are on this topic, AMF, if you have something you want to add, please feel free.
Okay,
No,
one more time.
I
Good
was
evening,
thinking
sir.
that maybe we'll open the floor
It's quite
for
important
questions.
before we run out of our own time. It is quite important for me just to inform you people here that in Ground Zero, we are very, very annoyed with this situation because resources that would have been made to take care of soldiers here in Ground Zero are found somewhere else in the diaspora, and the Ground Zero has no touch of it, and they are in much need of it. As we are talking to you right now, from the multi-joint task force works we have carried out, the crusades that have been held across the territory within this short period, we have several soldiers on the ground who are wounded that badly need our help. And in fact, AMF, we have several patients right now on the ground, several patients that badly need help. So please, the AMF healthcare department, I receive most of the calls from fighters on the ground when they are showing you their complaints after battles, and then I tender the complaints now to the healthcare department, and then from the healthcare department to the financial department, but we discover that they will not been able to meet up at all because the place is quite dry, and there are several fighters on pains right now. So we are asking the town hall and the Ambazonian international community should do everything to assist the wounded that are presently on the ground. The wounded soldiers that are presently on the ground, please. People should help us by all costs. Thanks.